Okay, good. All right, now I'm gonna share my screen. And y'all can go ahead and connect too, because y'all about to we can go through it together.
Which one are you clicking on? SQL Server Management or
Yeah,
Power BI?
SQL Server Management. This one with the yellow block, the yellow dot.
Make it smaller. No.
And let me know when y'all in there.
It says Microsoft SQL Server Management was automatically closed during installation for update.
Oh, you
Should I
already.
recover it?
Let me see. Hold on, cause let me see. Cause I'm gonna get you to. Stop. I'm gonna stop sharing mine so I can see yours. Cause I'm gonna get you to write your own code, but I'm gonna see if that's what that's talking about.
Okay.
Ayo, were you able to connect? Um.
It's Io, but yeah,
Okay. Good. Sorry.
that's fine.
Was it the Was it already on this screen, Bree? Oh, you're not seeing mine anymore. Was it already on this one? And then when it says something
No,
about
no, it's on there. No, it's on there now. It wasn't at first, but it's on there now.
oh, okay, you good?
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
okay. So this is the database, and this is actual. This is my Let me record. Hold on. And another thing, y'all can go back to these recordings too because they'll be in your dashboard. But this
Okay.
is Microsoft's SQL Server. So this is Microsoft's relational database. And the dialect to Microsoft is actually T-SQL. Um, so when you start navigating the space and getting in on interviews and things like that, and ask them like, what is their tech stack, and they say like, oh, we use Microsoft. This is what they're using. I've used it like 80% of my career. The other 20% is like broken up in like AWS, which is like Amazon Cloud. I've done GCP, which is Google Cloud, and I've done Oracle as well. But most of my career is Microsoft. And the reason being is just naturally organizations just use Microsoft products the same way they do with like Word and Excel. Like it's just that's what they do. Um, so this is Microsoft's relational database. This black box here probably shows up like this on your end is your actual server. So it is not uncommon to have for organizations to have multiple servers. They might have a production server, which is like actually the live data that is being used for stakeholders or HR or marketing or whoever is using that data. When your server is pretty much like the brain of like everything runs under your server. And if your server is down, then the system is down. People can't get access to their data. People start panicking and they lose money and all this other stuff. Or if your server is like crowded to where everybody working at the same time, you will hear about it. They'll if you're on a data team, you're gonna hear about it, which y'all will be because that's the goal. So these are your databases. So your databases are actually housed right underneath your server. Now, when you click on your database, these are your actual databases, these black boxes. Y'all have one, two, three. Y'all should have three. I have like a lot of them because I like practice with other stuff in here. But these black boxes are your actual databases. Now, as we navigate through the space, the way that I'm going to do it is I try to frame it as realistic as possible. So, with that being said, tonight I don't do that, but the rest of the nights I do that. To where you will have to like go in different databases and like work in different databases to do your use cases because that closely mimics like the day-to-day life of what your work looks like. You're going to be hopping in multiple databases. You're going to be applying changes, which you'll do tonight, testing the changes. Like you'll be going back and forth basically all the time with the data. So these black boxes are your databases. Now, for tonight, we're actually going to go into the data analytics simplified database. It's the best for y'all tonight because it's the most basic one. And you expand that and you see all these views right here. You see your database diagrams, your tables, programmability, which we get into programmability like in our fourth session. So you got your programmability, your storage, security. You basically have everything contingent to that database within this sector here. Now click here. These are your actual tables. And you expand it, you will see your multiple tables here. Now, if you click there and you're able to expand your tables and look at your columns, these are your columns that are in your tables. Expand that one. These are your columns. So all of your tables could be expanded like this. This is one way to do your data investigation. Just look at all your tables and all of your columns. Now, notice how you remember in the create table syntax that we were looking at in the first slide, it had like create table, then it had like table name. Then it listed out all those columns and the data types of those columns. When those tables are created, those data types and those data, not only the data types, but your data relationships, they're also defined when you create your columns. What do I mean by that? Okay, when you look at your tables here and you look at your columns, I've been able to expand all three of these. Look at your columns within this course table. And you see your course ID, you have this PK here, and you have integer, and then you have not null. So this PK means that it is a primary key. Your primary key is what makes that record in each table unique. There cannot be duplicate primary keys within your table because that is what makes it unique. Not null means that it is required. So this is essentially a required field within that table. Now you go down here and you look in your enrollments table, and in your enrollments table, you see your enrollment key is actually, you're not your enrollment key, my bad. Your enrollment ID is actually your primary key. It's the integer and it's not null. It's essentially a required field. But you go here and you see your course ID is your foreign key. In our natural language, when we say, oh, something is foreign, that essentially means that it's not from there. Whatever you're talking about, it's not from there. So in data, when you refer to your foreign key, it means that this key is from another table. So when you look at this course ID and it's a foreign key, that means that that column exists in another table. What other column does this course ID exist in?
The courses.
Yep. That course ID.
It's on the like, yeah.
What you say?
Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. It's more columns.
Yep. It existed in that course table. What about this? Okay, so this is our third table within this table. This is the students table. Okay, so this is the students table. So we have our student ID, which is the primary key. So what is the relationship? What is the relationship with this students table and any other table? What is the data relationship? And when I say data relationship, think about it like how we use, how are things related, like even in our natural language. Like if we say two things are related, that means they have something that tie them together in common.
So that's the data for the students that's enrolled in the course.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever, whoever is enrolled in, or we want to make them enroll in the course, or we want to enroll them in the course. So we would like join the tables using like the student information in the courses. So I guess like if I was in the office of enrollment.
Oh, you froze up, but you going our way on joins, but you're not wrong. Huh? What'd you say?
Oh, my connection, babe.
It's like you going in and out. But were you?
Yeah, my connection.
Were you saying? Okay, were you saying that you would join the student table to the enrollment table?
Yeah.
Yeah, you would. And what would you join it on? What column? What's the common column between both of those tables?
The course column? No.
Mm-mm.
Is it the enrollment? No, the student ID?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Hold on, I gotta put my glasses on.
Yep, it's the student ID. So you're on session 3, I think. But not the glasses, but it's important, like when you're going through your database to do your data investigation. Okay, which tables are related? How are they related? Also, a common question that might be asked as well within like tech assessments or even technical interviews, in addition to like join, there's a big focus on primary keys and foreign keys, because those primary keys and those foreign keys are what establishes those relationships. So just always remember that primary key is the unique identifier in that table. And that foreign key is a unique identifier from another table, but that is what establishes the relationship. And you're absolutely correct. When you join in two different tables, you have to join on that common column. Like that's the thing. That is the thing. Okay. So data relationships, we talked about that. We talked about the primary keys. We talked about the foreign keys. Now, right click on your enrollments table and select your top 1,000 rows. Now, this top 1,000 is called a limit. When you right click and select your top 1,000 rows within SQL, it automatically pulls out like right here. Right click your table, right click on the enrollment table, and then select top 1,000.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry.
You good? You good. That top 1,000 is called a limit. And the reason why it automatically limits how much data you pull when you pull it like that is because of the example I was saying earlier about how your data, your table can have 3 million records in there. And it can have 50 columns. Like people really don't do what they're supposed to do with their data, and it's a mess. So you can have an insane amount of data within your table. So the way that SQL automatically does it, and not only SQL, but all the systems, they automatically set it up to where it only pulls, your top 1,000 records. And also while we're in here, I do want to touch on the fact that, like I was talking a minute ago about the different dialects, they're all set up like this. They might all look different, be a different color, but they all have your screen. I mean, your IDE here, which is like where you'll be writing your code. They all have the output down here at the bottom. And they all have your Object Explorer. This is called an Object Explorer right here on the left. They all are literally set up just like that. Whether it's like Google, whether it's Oracle, they all look just like that, but they might be slightly different. So yeah, this is your top 1,000 rows. Now, the question was asked earlier regarding the bracket. So let's talk about the bracket. So when you select your top 1,000 rows, the system automatically puts these brackets around the columns. And the reason that it does that is because there are times to where your columns might actually be a reserved word, meaning that the name of your column might be like status or something that the system automatically identifies as like, oh, you mean this, when it's like you really just mean a column that just happens to be a reserved word, but I'm talking about a column. So the system puts these brackets around it because the brackets automatically says, okay, well, this is a column. I know it's a column because they pulled it right from this table. So that explains the bracket. Now, when you have, okay, so we got our select top 1,000 from, this is our table. Now, you notice how it has 3 different parts to this table. This is actually your database. So anytime you are writing your code, just like we're in the database, this is our database that we're in. So it's identifying which database you're in. This DBO is called a schema. You can make your schema anything you want to. And what the schema does is it essentially keeps the data organized within your database. Let's say you are working on a project and all of your data from this particular project deals with these patients in this particular industry that have had this type of test. You can name your schema to test whatever that is, like whatever the test name or whatever you need to like distinctively label your data from that particular data set, just to keep your data organized within your database. Because there are times to where within a database, you might have 50, 60, 70 tables. So if you want all your tables in one project grouped together, just change your schema so it can keep everything organized. This is your actual table. This is our table name. It's right here all day long. Now, best practice when you writing code is you want to document your code and you want to keep, like, if this is already capitalized, just keep everything capitalized. And you always put your commas on the front. So in the event that you have to come and comment out code or anything like that, it doesn't impact anything else that you're working on. And we're going to talk about that too. So first thing you're going to do is get rid of your top 1,000 because we don't want to limit. First thing you want to do, get rid of your top 1,000. And then whenever you are writing code, whenever you're doing an analysis, whenever you are testing data, whatever you're doing, make sure that you create documentation for what you're doing. And it's for multiple reasons. Partially for yourself. Because let's say you're working on something or working on code and you have 300 lines of code. You're not going to remember like what exactly you were doing. Or you're working on some kind of project that takes the data and connects that data, that output to a dashboard. And you want to explicitly make sure that you label what exactly you're pulling and why. So that in the event that you come back 2 weeks from now, 2 months from now, a year from now, you like, oh, okay, this is what I was doing. Or let's say you are creating a stored procedure, which is essentially like a block of code that you set and the system literally saves it and it runs every single time or however you want it to run. You want to be you want to have it set up to where if you're not there to speak to what you're doing, somebody can look at your code and say, oh, okay, this is what she was doing. So always document your code. Always document it at the very top. Now, the way you do that is you can do your 2 dashes and just write, whatever you're doing. This query does XYZ. And when you do your 2 dashes, the system, if it turns green, it doesn't exist. So that's one way to document. Another way to comment out like a whole block of code is like your backslash star. And then at the end of your code, you put star backslash. And it'll literally comment out like whatever is in between those 2 stars. So if it's green, it doesn't exist. This is gonna come in handy with really all the course like from here on out, because the way that you're gonna do it is if you've already created like something similar, the way that I teach y'all is to like build upon it. Like don't go and try to reinvent the wheel. Like what I've seen is like if I give y'all a use case, like people will go and then do a new query and literally try to write it from scratch. And it's like that really, you don't really have to do that. So let's like comment out what you don't need and get what you need. While I have this open, I'm gonna touch on this one more time. I know we talked about these select, insert, update, and delete. Now, these have different functions. So select cannot coexist with insert. Insert can't coexist with update. Update can't coexist with delete. They're literally all doing the same thing, so they cannot coexist. So tonight, when you're doing your use cases, when I tell you to like insert this within the table, and then you go back and test it, you will have to comment out your insert syntax and go back and use your select syntax. Like you would have to go back and forth, back and forth. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna share this while y'all do y'all use case. And another thing I wanted to touch on as well is remember that this where is called a condition. So in the event that you have to filter out data, you use where to filter out data. It allows you to explicitly say where, this condition is met. So where this column equals that. That's a condition. And the way that I'm going to do it also tonight is I'm literally going to like ask the question. And the expectation is for, first of all, you to do the data investigation, go through your database. Which of these tables answers this question? Which data answers this question? And write your code to document and then write your code to capture like whatever the question is or whatever the use case is. Oh, okay.
So we'll take the use case, create our table, and then like answer the questions from the table that we create.
No, you don't have to create the table. You're gonna take the use case and you're gonna answer it with the existing table.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So you'll take the use case and you're like, oh, okay, well, let me do my data investigation. Let me see which tables answer this data. Or which tables I think that you right click and select your top 1,000 rows and then filter out like where enrollment date is this or where grade is B or where whatever the use case is, you would just write your code to capture it.
Okay.
So make sure you document it and make sure you just document it. So let me Okay. So I'm gonna say it, and then I'm gonna type it in the chat so you have it for your documentation, and then I'm gonna say it out loud so you can record it. Okay. So can you provide me with a list of students who are majoring in computer science? So your first things first. First things first, data investigation. Which tables answers this question? And I'll be writing it coming to me. So go in there and then look at your columns. I don't know if that in there. I don't know. Then find your table. And then once you find your table, right click and then select your top 1,000 rows. So data investigation is first. Don't ever do that without investigating your data. And if you lost, I got a question, just ask it and we can walk through it together. Ayo, are you talking your thing yellow?
Oh no, I'm not talking.
Oh, okay. I don't know why it's yellow then. Well, I'll say great. Oh, maybe computer science. Okay. So what table do y'all use?
Student.
Enrollment? I don't know.
Who?
I said enrollment.
I said student.
Bree, you wrong. You wrong, Miss Mamas.
I love it.
And why you wrong? Because the question is who are majoring in computer science, and there isn't any data in an enrollment table.
Oh, because I was thinking about courses. I went on the enrollments because I was looking at.
I was thinking that too at first.
Yeah, not attention to detail. Sorry.
Oh, the course ID?
I was thinking about the course. I'm thinking it's a course. It's a computer science course and not a major.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think of that. But yeah, it's the students table. So go to your students table, select your top 1,000 rows, and then get rid of that top 1,000 because that's the limit. And bring me back. Provide me the first name, last name, enrollment year, and major. And if you stuck on something, let's just talk through it. And remember, in order to filter the data, it's always where this column equals, whatever. This is your condition. This is how you filter your data. This is how you answer who's majoring in computer science. Oh, we got the table. What column did you use? What column would you use for your filter?
The major column?
Uh-huh.
Right, where we write the code at? On the set, which line?
And let me see your screen. Okay. So you need your select. So put select, keep select, but just get rid of student ID. So keep your select and then just put 2 dashes in front of student ID.
Okay.
Yep. Because I saw you got rid of the top 1,000 and your student ID, which we don't need it. But you got to have select though. Because remember, think about it. We are selecting this column from this table. But yeah, like that. Now, also remember, take your code from line 1, push it down to line 2. And on line 1, document what you're doing. Put your 2 dashes and then put, a list of students majoring in computer science or something like that. Do dashes like these. Like dash, yeah.
With ashes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's right. I mean, other than that, that's right. Other than your select statement. But yeah, you're doing it in the right place. You just need your select. Now,
I have a question.
it looked like you already filtered it, huh? It looked like I'm confused. Did you already filter that?
To me?
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Oh, it's only computer science. Okay, get rid of that comma at the beginning of line 3. And now add your filter after your from, because we are selecting column from this table where this condition is met. All right, Ayo, I heard you say you had a question. Breathe through me off because it looked like it's already filtered. But what was your question?
Okay, I didn't filter the data, like, so on the bottom, it doesn't say computer science. It's like...
Let me see yours. Bree, I'm going to stop sharing yours.
Okay.
And let me know if you still, because you still working on your code. So let me. All right, share your screen.
Okay.
And we can walk through it. Okay.
Okay.
So what's your question?
Okay, so on the bottom, it's showing like the majors of like everyone, not just computer science. So I know I did something wrong.
You didn't do it. You did not do it wrong. You got your select statement up there. That's right. Nothing wrong with it. Oh, well, get rid of that comma in front of line 5. That's the only thing wrong with your select statement. Now, yeah, there you go. Now, when I say, hey, can you give me a list of students that majored in computer science? That's when you'll put your where. So what you're missing is your actual filter.
Oh, okay.
Yep. But you're not like it's not wrong. And then where, and then your column that you're filtering, which is major. Yeah. And then equals whatever you're doing, which is computer science. Also keep in mind that your data, your code, when you are using a filter, your values have to explicitly match how they are within the database. So if it's like computer/science, or if it's pushing, however it is, you got to match it explicitly. Also, put your strings, put your single quote, because the data type of that major is a varchar. So you got yep. There you go. And now execute. You got to execute that top. Press that green. Go up in the taskbar. Keep going. Keep going up. Now go left. Right there. Keep going. Now go up. Go up. Go. Yep. Oh, that's my mouse. I'm tripping. Go right there. See your see right in your taskbar. Where are you?
Of my what?
Go in the like. Go up. Keep going. Now go. Now go to the right. Go to the right. Go. Keep going.
Did
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Now go down. 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 Right there. Go down. Right there. There you go. Execute. Right there.
Okay.
Yep. There you go. There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So walk me through what your code is doing.
Okay, so basically I filtered it out by every student's first, last, and enrollment year that are majored in computer science.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Did your syntax work, Bree?
Yeah, mine's already filtered though.
You say yours was already filtered.
I had already filtered it.
So
But yeah, it worked.
I need a list of all the students who have a B. So first things first, data investigation. Who have the grade of a B? Data investigation, which tables answer this and which column answer this?
So it's the enrollments table, the grade.
Yep. Oh, I'm not sharing my screen.
So Lorita, is there so like when we code and says in order to end this, right? We have to use a semicolon. And
You don't have to do
start
that.
like a new line of code. Is that required or you just go to the next one?
You don't have to do that. If you select your top 1,000 rows for whatever table, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to put anything at the end of SQL. Now, at the end of some dialects of SQL, you do, but T-SQL, you don't.
Okay.
So this one, you can do it exact same way that you did your initial one with the computer science, but right-click your enrollment table and select your top 1,000 rows and just build upon that query.
Gotcha.
Now, I think in Oracle you do, but Microsoft, you don't have to do that. And let me know if you get caught up on something and we'll just talk through it.
What grade you said you
B. They can't bring a C, that means they can't sleep in there. So they have to have a B.
My kids know.
Can I share my screen and show you?
I'm gonna stop. Perfect. Do you feel comfortable doing it?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Perfect. Do you feel more comfortable doing the second query than the first query?
Yeah, I think once I like realized what was going on, it made more sense. So.
Yep.
So, like, what if we wanted to select the students, all the students who had a B in course 106?
That will be called a logical operator, and we're gonna talk about that on our next session. But
Okay.
what that I can explain it to you though. What it is it's the condition. Like you gonna say where grade equals B and course ID 106 or course ID 1 or whatever. But logical operators are whenever you like have multiple conditions, you literally like stacking them on top of them to like filter down exactly what you need. But that's like a real thing because you will get questions, and of course, like you will have to provide data that only fits like certain, filters, that you might have 6 different filters, but that's literally like textbook called a logical operator. And it would be where grade equals B and course ID 106 and student name.
So you just use and to join them?
Well, it wouldn't be joined, but it would be like filtering down.
Like
and
filter.
Yep. And then like and is when like it has to meet both the conditions. So it would be like where grade equals B and course equals 106. Because you can use or, which is like where grade equals B or the course is 106, and it'll be like a larger pool or, whatever. But you definitely can do that. Yep, you definitely can do that. Any other questions? Okay. So the next use case, insert yourself as a student in the student table. I'm going to give you the requirement. Make your student ID 30,000. So what I would suggest is, okay, so first of all, what if I say insert yourself as a student within a student table? What I would suggest the best way to like do that is to go to your actual student table and go to your actual student table, select your top 1,000 rows. Like y'all probably already got y'all student table pulled up. Oh, you do, because we were just in there. Go to your student table, select your top 1,000 rows, then comment out like that full block of code with your student with all of your data up there. And you do your insert syntax right underneath it. And the reason being is once you insert your data within that syntax, once you insert your data within that table, you have to go and test that data. So you're going to insert the data and then go and retrieve yourself. So you're going to insert you as a student in the student table and then come and say select these columns from the student table where, the student ID equals 30,000 or where, whatever your unique identifier is to retrieve you. So do it here so you can just go back and forth easily between like updating the change and testing the change. So let me go back to the syntax so you can see it. And use this and just modify it for like your table. Hey, Nicole, modify it for like your table.
All right, where?
Modify the code. This is an example. You got a question?
For me,
Uh-huh.
I don't think so.
Think about it like this. You inserting yourself, so you're gonna insert new data into
Right.
the database. So insert into, and then you're inserting yourself as a student. So instead of this, it would be like your whole data analytics simplified .dbo .student, whatever your table is. Then you open up your parentheses, list out your columns. First, list out the table columns. First name, last name, enrollment year, major. Close your parentheses. Then go for your values and enter in like the values that's explicit like to what you're working on. I need some water. Make sure you just but I ain't saying nothing but just tell you to comment out like the select statement. That's all. That's all I'm gonna say. Io, you're good?
I'm still thinking through it.
Okay. And let me know if you want to share your screen and walk through it. And we can.
Okay. Okay, let me share my screen because I've confused myself.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so.
Okay. Oh, yeah. you
So
Yeah. Let's. Yeah.
I went to like the students table or students data, and I clicked the select top 1,000 rows.
Okay.
And then I deleted like all that and I put insert into, because I remember you said select and insert. They don't go together. Okay.
Okay, stop. I'm gonna be like Kanye. I'm gonna let you finish. But
Okay. No. Go ahead. Tell me where I'm wrong.
so it's like you are mixing in like you're mixing up the two different syntaxes.
Okay.
So let's start from the beginning. Go back, just act like this don't even exist. Go back to your student table and right click and select your top 1,000. Like just get yourself a whole new tab. Yup. Now, okay. Now, comment out line 1. Like, do your. Oh, Nicole, I'm just seeing your stuff in the chat. Okay, do your /* at the top in front of your select, and then your star / at the bottom. And what that's gonna do is it's going to comment out everything that's in there. Now, the reason why I'm telling you to select that and hold that up there is because once you insert data into that table, you're going to go back and retrieve data from the table to test that change. But you're going to use that syntax that you just commented out. So you don't have to keep like writing it over and over and over again.
Okay.
So you got that. So the first thing you need to do, I'm going to share my screen.
Okay.
Do it. Okay. So the first thing you need to do, write insert into, because we're going to insert data into that table. This is going to be a whole new script. Insert into, then you got your table name, which is your student table. So you really could just copy everything from and put it right after your into.
Okay. Are you sharing your screen?
You can't see it?
Mm-mm.
Can you see it, Bree?
Okay, well, I see the slide.
You can't see my slide?
Yeah.
Okay. You can?
Yes.
Okay. Insert into. Then you got your table name. Now, open up your parentheses and literally list out every column in that table, but do not put the brackets. Literally list it out just like this. Like, list them out in sequence. We got the student ID, first name, last name, enrollment year, major. Literally list it out just like that and close your parentheses.
Okay.
And let me know when you're done there. What you say, Brittany?
I said, why not? Go ahead.
Let me see yours.
Hold on, I just started over.
Oh, yours probably green because you don't have, you commented out. You started to comment it out, but you didn't close it. Like, you didn't close your bracket. Close your code to comment it out. So think of this like a sandwich. Like anything between these stars is gonna be commented out. So if you open it to comment it out, you gotta close it too.
Gotcha.
Was that it?
I think so.
Yeah. So Io, you have your insert into, you have your table name, you have your columns, or listing out your columns, and then you close your parentheses for your columns. Then you turn around and literally say values, because what I'm saying is insert into this table, these columns, these values. So values, open up your parentheses and put your value, list your values in exact order that you got your columns. And let me know if you want to share your screen so I can see what you're doing now. If you feel like you're not on the right track.
Okay, let me share my
Okay. Okay, let me see what you got. So, oh, you on the right track? Okay. Now, open up your parentheses.
Which my parentheses?
Yep, open it up. Start it over. Open up your parentheses. Now, literally list in your values in the order that you listed them columns. You said insert into this table these these columns and now these values. Now make your student ID 30,000. Now for your student ID, you see that bar card is integer, so you don't have to put you don't have to put your single quotes. You can write it just like that. No, you don't have to. It's already defined. Yep, just write it like how you. Yeah, there you go. Do another 0. Okay, and then comma and literally list out everything that you. Yep. Now
List out the whole.
Yep, like first name, last name. Oh, you missed the last name, but first name you gotta add last name on line.
Oh,
Yep.
Okay.
Like not the actual first name, but the data that you actually want within that column.
Oh, my name.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Now put your when it comes to inserting data into the table. Now go over there and do some data investigation. And you see that first name is a bar card. So you got to make it a string by putting them single quotes around it. Yep. And just keep listing out. And then
would I do another comma?
Yep.
Or would I? Okay.
No, you're right. Yep. Literally, just like how you got it at the top.
Okay.
Yep. Enrollment years, yes, the integer too, so you don't need the strings around it. So you can just write the number.
And then major.
That is bar card, so you gotta put your strings around it.
Okay, yes.
And then close your parentheses. Now, no, you don't need the Now on line 8, after your first name, you're gonna have to list your last name too, because you're gonna have more columns. Yep.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Mine said cannot insert duplicate keys, so I'm assuming there's already a student name case.
Well, the duplicate key is you don't need those. You don't need your brackets. Literally write it just how you got the other ones.
Oh yeah.
So that's actually a reference to your primary key, which is a student ID. Yep. Yeah. So create a new student ID. And it's telling you that primary key constraint, that primary key is a unique identifier, so more than one can't exist in there. Perfect. Do you get what you did doing with your code?
Yes.
Perfect. You're inserting into that table these columns, these values. Now, one row affected means one row is affected in their database. You only inserted one row, so you're good. Now, go up to, so you have to insert what you want to retrieve. Yeah. Now, go up on line 7, comment out your insert into syntax, and now retrieve yourself from that data. Comment out line 7 through 9.
You said I should what?
Comment it out. Put your star bracket, backslash star in front of line 7, and then on line 9, star backslash. Yep. Yep. So we're gonna comment it out, and then go back on line 9 and close comment it out. Bree, were you able to do it? Now, you were?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, go back and you've applied your change. Now it's time for you to test your change. What does that mean? Now you need to go and retrieve yourself as a student from your student table. What column would you use to retrieve yourself?
What column?
Yep. What column in that student table is the unique identifier?
It's student ID.
Yep. Now
Oh yeah.
go up there and select from their student table where student ID equals whatever you assign yourself and test your change. So get rid of you don't have to rewrite it. Just use what you already got up there. Get rid of those comments on. Yep. Just use what you already got. Now you don't have to come in and just get rid of that star backslash at the top.
Okay.
Yep. And get rid of the backslash. There you go. And then get rid of the one at the end of line 6. There you go. There you go. And just put your where statement and pull you out. Yep.
Oh.
Where student ID what? Yep.
My name?
No, what's
or my ID?
Yep, your ID. Because you're using the student ID column.
Okay.
Yep.
There we go.
Perfect. Now, you inserted that data into the table. Then you have to go and test that change. So I'm going to test my change, but I'm not going to like reinvent the wheel. I already got my code here. So I'm just go up here, recomment